Kazakh embassies, and the Qing Empire's battle against smallpox. Once upon a time, in the distant winter of 1773, the Qing Emperor, Qianlong, received a message from the steppe. It was from the Kazakh ruler, Ablai Khan. Ablai wished to send one of his sons to serve in the imperial palace of China, but the emperor replied softly, "Tell Ablai, it is not the right time. His people live too far from the capital, and a child who has never had smallpox should not stay here for long." Qianlong did not refuse with anger. He refused with caution, because in those days, smallpox was one of the deadliest enemies of mankind. Smallpox, a word that once made even emperors tremble, a disease that burned through nations, leaving faces scarred and hearts broken. It came with fever, with pain, and with fear. Those who caught it either died in agony or lived with marks that never faded. Among the Turks, it was called sheshek, the flower disease. In China, Tianhua, the flower of heaven. But there was nothing heavenly about it. When the Manchus conquered China in 1644, they brought their warriors from the cold north, men who had never faced smallpox before. In the warmer lands of the south, the disease struck like wildfire. It killed soldiers, nobles, even emperors. Two of the Qing rulers, Shunji and Tongji, died from smallpox. Others, like Kangxi and Jianfeng, survived, but their faces bore the scars forever. Emperor Shunji feared the disease so deeply that every spring when smallpox spread, he left the palace and hid far away. He even refused to meet foreign envoys, including Mongol nobles, just to stay alive. But fate was cruel. At only 24 years old, Shunji himself died of smallpox. Before his death, he asked his Jesuit advisor Adam Schall who should inherit the throne. The answer was clear. "Choose your son Xuanye," said the missionary, "for he has already survived smallpox. He is protected by heaven." And so the boy Xuanye became Emperor Kangxi, the longest reigning emperor in Chinese history. During Kangxi's rule, China discovered early forms of vaccination, the first known protection against smallpox. There were two methods: the dry method, powdered scabs blown into the nose, and the wet method, the powder mixed with milk or water, then carefully placed into the nostrils. It was risky, but those who survived it became immune for life. Kangxi supported this new practice. He once told his children, "Our ancestors feared smallpox more than any enemy. But when I learned of the vaccine, I saved you all." Even so, the plague continued. Later, emperors lost sons and heirs. Even Emperor Tongji died of smallpox in the year 1875. To protect the royal court, Kangxi built a hidden summer residence, far away in the mountains of Halun Gol. Only nobles who had already survived smallpox were allowed to visit him there. The disease even shaped diplomacy. The Qing government decided that all foreign embassies, including those from the Kazakh Khanate, must arrive in winter when the air was cold and smallpox was less active. So when Ablai Khan's son Adil Sultan traveled to Beijing, the emperor ordered his officials to make sure the Kazakh envoys reached the capital safely by the end of the year. And so in 1774, Adil Sultan met the great Qianlong emperor outside the gates of Beijing, together with Uyghur and Mongol nobles. Smallpox, a disease that shaped empires. It decided who lived and who died. It changed wars, it delayed embassies, and it altered history itself. Even between Kazakh steppes and the Chinese court, this invisible enemy controlled the rhythm of diplomacy. And so the story reminds us that even centuries ago, health and politics, life and diplomacy were bound together by something too small to see, but too powerful to ignore. From the Kazakh steppes to the Forbidden City, the fight against smallpox was not just a medical struggle, it was a battle for survival,